Amara had always been the soft, quiet type. She was gentle, kind, and full of love. People often said she had the sweetest heart, but that didn't seem to matter much in a world where appearance came first. She had always been on the heavy side. From childhood, her weight followed her like a shadow, and no matter how hard she tried, it never went away. When she met Chuka, she thought her life had finally changed for good. Chuka was handsome, tall, and charming. He made her feel beautiful in ways no one ever had. Amara had doubts at first. Men like Chuka rarely looked at girls like her, but he was patient and kind, and when he asked her to marry him, she said yes with tears in her eyes. Their wedding day was a grand one. Friends and family danced and sang. Amara wore a beautiful white gown that fit her perfectly. She smiled all day. It was the happiest day of her life. But not long after the wedding, things started to change. At first, it was small things. Chuka stopped holding her hand in public. He no longer called her sweet names like my queen or my sunshine. When she asked what was wrong, he simply said he was tired. Soon, the small things became bigger. He began staying out late, sometimes not returning home until the next day. Amara would wait at the door with food, praying nothing had happened to him. But he would walk past her without a word and go straight to bed. One evening, Amara found the courage to ask him, "Chuka, what's going on? Have I done something wrong?" He looked at her coldly. "I'm tired of pretending, Amara. Just look at you. You've added more weight since we got married. I can't stand it anymore." Her heart broke into pieces. "I thought you loved me," she whispered, her voice shaking. "I thought I could manage it," he replied. "But I can't. I need someone I can show off. Someone who looks good beside me." Without waiting for her response, Chuka picked up his keys and left the house. That night he didn't return, nor the night after. 3 days had passed. Chuka still had not returned home. Amara sat by the window every evening, hoping to hear his footsteps. But the only sound she heard was the ticking clock on the wall and the loud silence in her heart. Her eyes were always red from crying. She couldn't sleep, she couldn't eat. The man she loved had left her, and not for anything she did wrong, but because of her weight. One morning, Amara decided to call her best friend, Felicia. Felicia had been her friend since their school days. She was slim, smart, beautiful, and always full of life. Amara trusted her with everything. When Felicia picked up the phone and heard Amara crying, she rushed over at once. "My dear, what is it? Why are you crying like this?" Felicia asked, sitting close to her on the couch. Amara wiped her tears. "It's Chuka. He left me. He said I'm too fat. He said he can't stand being married to me anymore." Felicia gasped. "What? That's nonsense. You're beautiful, Amara, and he knew your size before he married you." "I begged him, Felicia. I told him I'd try to lose weight, but he didn't care. He just walked away." Felicia took her hand gently. "Don't worry. Let me talk to him. Maybe he's just confused. Maybe he's going through something. I'll meet him and talk to him. I'll tell him what he's about to lose." Amara's eyes lit up with a little hope. "Will you really do that for me?" "Of course," Felicia said. "You're my sister. Leave it to me." The next day, Felicia called Chuka and asked him to meet her at a restaurant nearby. He agreed. He arrived on time, dressed in a sharp shirt and jeans, with his hair nicely cut. He looked like a man who had no worries. When he saw Felicia walk into the restaurant, his eyes lit up. Felicia wore a simple black gown that hugged her slim figure. Her makeup was light and her smile was bright. She looked classy and confident. Chuka stood and hugged her. "Wow, Felicia, you look amazing. So classy, fit, and beautiful." Felicia smiled but went straight to the point. "Thanks, Chuka. I'm here because of Amara." Chuka sat down and rolled his eyes. "Amara again?" "Felicia, let me be honest with you. I wish you were my wife instead." Felicia froze. "Excuse you?" "I'm serious," Chuka continued. "Look at you. You look like a model. Amara, I can't even hold her hand in public without people looking at us like we don't match. I feel embarrassed." Felicia looked down at her glass, hiding the shock on her face. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. "You're saying this about your wife?" she asked. Chuka laughed. "She should have worked on herself. She's too lazy. Always eating, always sleeping. I tried, Felicia, but I'm a man. I need something sweet beside me, not someone I can't lift. Felicia clenched her jaw but remained calm. I thought you loved her, she said softly. I thought I did, Chuka said carelessly, but love can die when beauty fades. Felicia stared at him for a moment. She couldn't believe this was the same man Amara loved with all her heart. She couldn't believe how shallow he was. She stood up. Thank you for your time, Chuka. I've heard enough. He smiled, thinking she was impressed. Call me anytime, he said. You're the kind of woman a man should marry. Felicia walked out of the restaurant with fire in her chest. She didn't even look back. That night she went straight to Amara's house. Her friend opened the door, eyes full of hope. Did you talk to him? Amara asked. Felicia hugged her tightly. Yes, and now I know the truth. What did he say? Amara whispered. Felicia stepped back and looked into her eyes. You don't need him, Amara. He doesn't deserve you. He's not a man. He's a boy trapped in a man's body. He will regret this. Amara's lips trembled. So, it's over? Felicia nodded slowly. Yes, my dear, it's over. But this is just the beginning of your own story. Tears fell from Amara's eyes again, but this time they were not just from pain. They were also from the strength her friend had given her. The sun rose gently the next morning. Amara was in the kitchen making tea. Her eyes were tired, but her heart was a little stronger after her conversation with Felicia. She had cried through the night, but this time it was healing tears. As she placed the kettle on the gas cooker, she heard a familiar sound. The door creaked open. Her heart jumped. She turned around and froze. It was Chuka. He walked in like he owned the world, dragging his small travel bag behind him. His face was fresh, and his clothes were ironed like he had been staying in a hotel. He didn't look like someone who had missed home or even thought of her. Still, Amara's face lit up with relief. Her heart raced. She dropped the cup and ran toward him. Chuka, you're back, she said, almost breathless. He looked at her, unimpressed. Yes, I'm back. Amara tried to smile. I thought I lost you. I've been so scared. I prayed every day. I'm so glad you're home. Chuka stepped back from her hug and dropped his bag beside the couch. Then, without blinking, he said coldly, You think I will leave my house for a pig like you? Never. Amara felt like her heart had just been slapped. I just went to a peaceful place. I needed space from you. You stress me with your body and you're crying. Tears rushed to Amara's eyes, but she didn't speak. She stood still, her hands shaking. Chuka sat on the couch and stretched his legs. I only came back because your beautiful, classy friend begged me. She looked me in the eye and told me to come home. That's the only reason I'm here. He turned to her sharply. Don't think it's because of you. Amara opened her mouth to say something, but the words refused to come out. I'm warning you now, Chuka continued. Don't come near me. Don't try to touch me. Don't even breathe too loud. I'll be sleeping in the guest room. Don't ask me when I'm going out or when I'm coming back. I don't want noise in this house. Amara nodded slowly, her heart crushed beyond repair. She had waited for him. She had prayed for him. She had cried every night, hoping he would change. And now he stood there, calling her a pig, speaking as if she was some stranger. He picked up the TV remote and turned it on. And don't forget to bring my food to the table at 7 p.m. sharp. If it's late, I'll throw it away. With that, he leaned back and began scrolling through the channels like nothing happened. Amara walked slowly to the bedroom and locked the door behind her. She sat on the floor and let the tears flow freely. So this was her marriage. So this was the man she once called her king. She took out her wedding photo from the drawer. In the picture, she was smiling beside him. She looked so happy, so full of dreams. Now she felt empty. Later that evening, she served his food right on time. He ate quietly, not even looking at her. He left the plate on the table and went to the guest room. As he walked away, Amara stared at his back. A voice in her heart whispered, This is not the end of you. This pain will not break you. This will become your story, and one day he will regret every word. The next afternoon, Amara heard a knock on the door. She wiped her face quickly and rushed to open it. It was Felicia. Felicia, she exclaimed, pulling her in for a hug. But Felicia did not smile. She walked into the living room and looked around with sharp eyes. So that fool is back in this house? She asked in a loud, angry voice. Amara sighed. Felicia, please don't say that. He's still my husband. Don't talk about him like that. Felicia turned sharply. Oh, sorry, Ma. I didn't know he's your king. Should I kneel down and greet him properly next time? Amara rolled her eyes and shook her head. Please, let's be serious here. I didn't call you here to fight with you. I need your help. Felicia calmed down a bit and sat on the couch. Okay, fine. What's going on now? Amara sat beside her and looked straight into her eyes. Felicia, I want to lose weight. Felicia blinked. You what? I said I want to lose weight, Amara repeated. That's the main problem in my home now. If I don't do something, I don't think I can survive this marriage. Felicia leaned forward, curious now. Are you doing this because of Chuka, or because you want it for yourself? Amara paused for a moment. Both. I'm doing it for him, but mostly for me. I want to look in the mirror and smile again. I want to feel proud of myself. Felicia nodded slowly. All right. Then I'll help you. But I'll be honest with you. This is not going to be easy. I know, Amara said quietly. But I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of feeling useless. Felicia smiled a little. The first thing you must understand is that weight loss is not magic. It takes time and hard work. You have to watch what you eat and do regular exercise. Amara sighed deeply. That's the problem. I love food. I find it difficult to stay without eating. Even when I'm not hungry, I just enjoy chewing something. Felicia laughed. You and food are best friends, I see. Amara chuckled too. You don't understand. If I don't eat, my body starts shaking. And you know what? My doctor said I have something called PCOS. PC what? Felicia asked, frowning. Polycystic ovary syndrome. It's a health issue. It makes it hard to lose weight. It messes with my hormones. Sometimes I feel weak. Sometimes I feel like crying for no reason. Felicia placed her hand gently on Amara's shoulder. Oh wow, I'm really sorry, Amara. I didn't know you were dealing with all of this. Amara nodded. I told Chuka about it before, but he said I was just making excuses. He doesn't even care. Felicia hissed loudly. That man will regret this one day. Mark my words. But for now, let's focus on you. You need to take charge of your health. Amara looked at her friend with hope. So where do I start? Felicia sat upright like a coach. First, you must reduce your portion size. You don't have to stop eating completely. Just eat smaller amounts. And stop eating late at night. No more food after 7 p.m. Amara nodded. Okay, what else? Second, start drinking water. Lots of it. No more soda, juice, or sweet drinks. Just clean water. Amara sighed. So no more meat pie and soft drink in the afternoon. Felicia laughed. No way, you can have fruits instead. They are sweet too, and they won't make you gain weight. Okay, I'll try, Amara said. But what about exercise? Felicia smiled. Simple. We start small. We can take a walk every morning together. 30 minutes. Just walking. Nothing serious. Amara raised her hand like a student. Can I eat before the walk? Felicia burst out laughing. No, madam, you walk first. Then you can eat healthy breakfast after. Amara scratched her head. I don't know, Oh. This sounds hard. Felicia became serious again. Let me tell you the truth. If you don't try now, one day that man will pack your bags and throw you out. Just stay there and keep rolling yourself like a bag of rice. Amara gasped. Felicia. Felicia laughed. I'm joking, but I'm serious. You have to fight back. You have to show him that you are more than your weight, that you are beautiful, smart, and strong. Amara smiled. Thank you. I needed to hear that. Felicia stood up and picked up her bag. Now go and clean your kitchen. Remove all those biscuits and sweets you hide in the cupboard. Amara laughed loudly. How did you know? I know you too well, Felicia said. I'll come back tomorrow morning for our first walk. If you don't open that door, I'll break it down. I'll be ready, Amara said, laughing. The next morning, Amara woke up early. She dressed in a long t-shirt and joggers, tied a scarf on her head, and waited at the door. Just before 6 a.m., Felicia knocked. Are you ready? She asked with a big smile. As ready as I'll ever be, Amara replied, still yawning. They began walking slowly around the estate. At first, Amara's legs felt heavy. Her body didn't want to move. But Felicia encouraged her. "Just small steps," she said. "Don't rush." They talked as they walked. Amara complained about the pain in her legs and how she wanted to sit down. Felicia told her to push through. "This pain is part of the process," she said. "Sweat now so you can smile later." After 30 minutes, they returned to the house. Amara was sweating and breathing heavily, but she felt proud. "You did well today," Felicia said. "We'll do this every day." Amara nodded and waved goodbye as Felicia left. She entered the kitchen and made herself a bowl of salad. Lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, and a little boiled egg. No bread, no butter, no juice, just water. She sat down in the living room and started eating slowly. She was still on her second spoon when Chuka walked in. He looked at her plate and burst into laughter. "Amara, what is this?" he asked, pointing at the salad. "Are you a goat now?" Amara looked up quietly. "I'm trying to lose weight." Chuka laughed louder. "By eating grass?" "Ah, this is funny." She didn't say anything. She just continued eating. He sat down across from her and shook his head. "Amara, I know you. At night you will enter that kitchen and eat 3 wraps of fufu with soup. Just be deceiving yourself." Amara swallowed hard, but not because of the salad. His words cut deep. She stared at the plate and suddenly lost her appetite. Still, she told herself not to react. She had promised to stay strong. "I'm serious about this," she said softly. Chuka laughed again. "Serious? You can't stay one day without eating something heavy. Just wait. By midnight you'll be licking stew from the pot." Amara put her fork down. "Even if I fail today, I will try again tomorrow." Chuka rolled his eyes. "Whatever, just don't faint in this house and expect me to carry you. I won't break my back for nothing." With that, he grabbed his car keys and left the house, slamming the door behind him. That night, Amara couldn't sleep. Her stomach made strange noises. Her body felt weak. She had been trying so hard, walking every morning, eating salad, drinking water. But tonight it all felt like too much. She tossed and turned on her bed. She tried to pray, tried to close her eyes, tried to think of something else. But the hunger didn't go away. By 11:45 p.m., she couldn't take it anymore. She tiptoed out of the room and entered the kitchen. She didn't switch on the light. She didn't want anyone to know she was there. She opened the pot of rice and stew and stared at it. The smell alone made her legs weak. She told herself, "Just 1 spoon. That's all." But 1 spoon turned into 2, then 5, then 10. Before she knew it, she was sitting at the kitchen table, eating a full plate of food: jollof rice, fried plantain, chicken and stew. Suddenly, she heard the door open. She turned quickly. It was Chuka. He walked in and froze. For a moment, he said nothing. Then slowly, a wicked smile spread across his face. He leaned against the wall and started laughing loudly. "I said it," he shouted. "I knew it. You can't do this. You were born to be fat." Amara quickly dropped her spoon, her face red with shame. "Chuka, it's not what it looks like." "Oh, please," he said, still laughing. "Look at you, so big, so dirty, and so lazy. You're not even ashamed to be stuffing your face at midnight like a thief." Amara looked down at the plate. Her heart was beating fast. "It's not my fault. I tried. I really did. But I couldn't sleep. I was so hungry." Chuka clapped his hands sarcastically. "Hungry? Hungry, you say? You're always hungry. That's your problem. You want to lose weight, but you eat like an elephant." Tears filled Amara's eyes. "I'm trying, Chuka. It's hard for me. I didn't mean to mess up." He shook his head. "You'll never change. You're a failure. Just accept it." With those words, he turned and walked away, still laughing, and slammed the door to the guest room behind him. Amara sat there in silence, tears falling down her cheeks. The next morning, there was a knock on the door. It was Felicia. She was dressed in her jogging outfit, full of energy. "Good morning," she said. "Let's go for our walk. It's a beautiful day." Amara stepped out slowly, her face pale and tired. "What's wrong?" Felicia asked. "My body is paining me," Amara whispered. "I can't walk today." Felicia frowned. "Pain is normal. It means your body is waking up. Let's go, small walk. Just 10 minutes." Amara shook her head. I'm also hungry. I didn't eat well yesterday. Felicia blinked. You're hungry. This early? Amara looked away. I didn't sleep well. I was tired. And I ate last night. A full plate. Felicia stared at her in disbelief. You what? I was hungry, Amara said quietly. I didn't plan to eat that much. But I couldn't stop myself. Felicia dropped her water bottle angrily. So that's it? One small step backward and you give up? I didn't give up, Amara said. You just what? Felicia cut in. You just failed yourself again? You said you wanted to change. You said you wanted to feel proud. You begged me to help you. I'm trying, Felicia, Amara cried, but my body is tired. I'm not strong like you. And I have this sickness, PCOS. It's not easy for me. Felicia folded her arms and sighed. You know what, Amara? I came here to help you. I left my own plans, my sleep, my peace just to support you. But if you're not ready to fight for yourself, then what am I doing here? Amara looked at her with wet eyes. Please don't go. I need you. Felicia picked up her bottle. No, you don't. What you need is discipline, and stop making excuses. She turned to leave, then paused. Until you are serious, really serious, I won't waste my time. Call me when you're ready. And with that, she walked away. Amara stood by the door, speechless. 6 months had passed. Amara was still in the same house, still in the same body, still in the same pain. She hadn't lost any weight. In fact, she had even added more because food became her only comfort. And she hadn't gotten pregnant yet. Every morning she woke up and tried to stay strong. She cooked, cleaned, smiled at the neighbors, and kept praying that one day her husband would see her heart. But nothing changed. Chuka became even more distant. He rarely came home. When he did, he barely spoke to her. He acted like she was invisible. Still, Amara remained in that house. Not because she had nowhere else to go, but because she still hoped something good would come out of her marriage. Until one day, her whole world collapsed. Amara was in the kitchen boiling water for tea when she heard the sound of the front door open. She didn't rush out. Chuka had come home many times without saying a word. But this time, something felt different. She heard 2 voices, one male and one female, laughing. She stepped out of the kitchen, and then she saw them. Chuka walked in proudly, followed by a woman who looked nothing like Amara. She was tall, slim, and dressed like someone going to a party. Her nails were long, her eyelashes thick, and her belly round, clearly pregnant. Amara froze. She looked at Chuka, then at the woman, then back at Chuka again. What's going on? She asked softly. Chuka looked at her with no emotion. Amara, meet Juliet. She's pregnant for me. Amara felt her knees grow weak. She leaned against the wall, breathing slowly. What did you just say? She whispered. I said Juliet is pregnant, and we're getting married soon. Tears filled Amara's eyes. Married? But you're already married to me. Chuka laughed bitterly. Married to what? Look at you. Since the doctor said you have PCOS and getting pregnant is not easy unless you lose weight, I've waited. But it's clear you're not even trying. Amara looked at him with trembling lips. I did try. No, you didn't, Chuka snapped. You kept eating like nothing matters. 1 year of marriage, Amara, 1 full year. No miscarriage, no sign of pregnancy, nothing. She started shaking. So, this is my fault? Yes, he said without thinking. I can't keep waiting. Juliet is giving me what I want, a child, a family. So we're getting married. I'm not asking for your permission, I'm telling you. Amara was speechless. Her whole body was cold. Chuka shrugged. If you can't stay and accept it, then leave. But I'm not chasing you. You're free to remain here if you want. And from now on, I want you out of our bedroom. Juliet and I will use that room. You can move to the guest room. That way, we won't have to see your dirty, lazy self every morning. Juliet laughed loudly. Yes, oh, I can't be sleeping in the same house with this elephant. Amara stood frozen. Her heart was breaking into pieces. She had spent 1 full year praying, hoping, fasting, begging God to bless her womb. She had cried herself to sleep too many times to count. And now her husband, the man she gave her whole heart to, had brought another woman into their home and called her dirty. Slowly she turned around and walked to the bedroom. She locked the door and collapsed on the floor. Hot tears rolled down her cheeks, her chest ached, her body shook. God, why me? She cried. What did I do wrong? I gave him everything. I stayed. I tried. I fought. Why is this happening to me? She sobbed for hours. The pain was too much to carry. Her heart felt like it was being crushed with a stone. Outside she heard laughter, Juliet's voice, Chuka's voice. They were celebrating. She was breaking. The next morning, Amara couldn't stay in that house. She had spent the whole night crying on the floor of the guest room while Chuka and his new woman slept peacefully in the master bedroom. The pain was too much to bear. She got up early. She walked with heavy steps through the streets, heading to the one place she felt she could find peace. Felicia's house. It had been months since they last spoke. Amara stood in front of her gate and knocked gently. After a few seconds, the door opened. Felicia stood there in a beautiful blue gown, holding a handbag and ready for work. She looked surprised to see Amara. Her eyes widened, but her face didn't smile. "So you remember that I still exist?" she asked. Amara looked down. "I'm sorry, Felicia." Felicia scoffed. "You must need something. Say it. I know you didn't come here just to greet me." Amara nodded slowly. "I do need something. But first, let me say sorry. I was wrong that day. I should have listened. I know I pushed you away when you were only trying to help me." Felicia looked at her for a few seconds, then sighed. "Okay, I'm listening." Amara's eyes filled with tears. "Felicia, please, I need your help again. I want to start the exercise again. This time, I'm serious. I'm ready. I want to fight for myself. I want to take my life back." Felicia shook her head. "Amara, sorry to disappoint you, but I can't help you anymore. I now have a good job, a well-paying one. I resume work by 7:30 every morning. I leave the house very early, and I return late." Amara's heart sank. "Oh, okay. But," Felicia continued, "I think you should join a gym. Get yourself a professional coach. Go every day. Be consistent. You'll be amazed at the results if you stay serious." Amara nodded quickly. "I will do it. I'll go and register today. I'm tired of this life. I don't want to lose my home." She paused, then whispered the truth. "My husband brought home another woman. She's pregnant for him. He told me to move out of our bedroom. He said if I can't stay and accept it, I should leave." Felicia's eyes widened. "What? He really did that?" Amara nodded. "Yes. Last night, I cried until my body was weak." Felicia shook her head in anger. "That foolish husband of yours will never change. Can you believe he even asked me out?" Amara froze. "What?" "Yes," Felicia replied, "not long after I stopped coming to your house. One day he called me and said he wanted to hang out. He said I was beautiful, smart, and the kind of woman he should have married. I blocked him immediately." Amara felt a cold wind pass through her heart. "He said that to you?" she asked slowly. Felicia nodded. "Yes, my dear. Your husband is not just wicked, he's shameless. He doesn't respect you or your marriage." Amara sat down on the small chair outside the house, shaking her head in shock. "All this time, I thought it was my fault. I thought if I lost weight, he would love me again." Felicia sat beside her. "Amara, listen to me. Love is not about size. It's not about weight. It's about the heart. If a man truly loves you, he'll stand by you even when you're not perfect. But Chuka, that man doesn't know the meaning of love." Tears ran down Amara's face. "I stayed because I thought things would change. I thought if I just tried harder." Felicia placed her hand gently on Amara's shoulder. "You're not the problem. He is. And it's time you stop carrying the shame he put on you. You're beautiful, you're kind, and you deserve so much better." Amara sniffed. "I'll register for the gym today." "Good," Felicia said. "Do it for you, not for him, not for Juliet. Do it so you can take back your power. You've been quiet for too long. It's time to rise." The next morning, Juliet saw Amara in the living room, dressed in gym clothes. She laughed loudly and said, "Hey, you elephant, where are you going like this?" Amara dropped her gym bag, looked her straight in the eye and replied, "Are you blind that you can't see? You little gold digger, stay away from me or you will regret it." Juliet's smile disappeared. Amara stepped closer, her voice firm and her face serious. Foolish girl. Your mates are in school learning something useful. But here you are, sleeping with a married man, acting like you're important. Useless set of people. You and Chuka are so foolish. Juliet was shocked. Who do you think you're talking to like that? To you, Juliet, Amara snapped. To a girl who doesn't know her worth. To someone who opened her legs to a man already married. You think you've won? No, my dear, you're a joke, a walking joke, Juliet hissed. This is my house too now. Amara laughed. House? You call this your house? Listen well, little girl, you're only here by accident. Nothing in this house belongs to you, not the chairs, not the air, not even the tiles you're stepping on. And if you think I'll let you mess up my life and get away with it, you're not only cheap, you're stupid. Juliet was boiling now. If you have sense, you'll watch your mouth. And if you have shame, Amara fired back, you'll pack your things and leave before your child is born into this madness you created. Juliet was about to speak again when Amara pointed at the kitchen. Her tone changed, sharper, louder. Before I come back, make sure you clean that kitchen you messed up. Plates everywhere, stew poured all over the counter, dirty cups in the sink. What kind of nonsense is that? You're living in another woman's house and you don't even know how to clean. I'm not your maid, Juliet shouted. No, you're not, Amara said calmly. You're the reason I nearly lost myself, but not anymore. Juliet stepped forward. If you touch me, Amara laughed loudly and clapped her hands. Touch you? No need. I'll use my words to beat sense into you. Let me tell you something, Juliet. You can have Chuka. In fact, take him as breakfast, lunch and dinner. I'm done chasing after a man who has no sense of loyalty. A man who doesn't know gold when he's holding it. Juliet paused. Amara continued, Let me remind you of something, dear Juliet. This body you laugh at? It won't always be like this. These clothes I wear? They'll change. My size? It'll change. My story? Oh, it will change. But your shame? That one will follow you forever. Juliet stood speechless. Amara opened the door and turned back one last time. Her voice dropped, but it cut deep. I used to cry because of you two. Now I laugh. And very soon you both will weep. Then she walked out, leaving Juliet frozen like a statue. Later that afternoon, Chuka returned home. He looked tired. He just wanted to eat and rest. Juliet rushed to him, pretending to be upset and holding her stomach gently. Baby, you won't believe what your wife did today, she said in a loud voice, trying to sound weak and wounded. Chuka looked at her without interest. What is it this time? She insulted me badly, Juliet started. She called me a gold digger. She said I was a disgrace. She even said you and I are both foolish. Chuka sighed and leaned back. Juliet, is that all? I'm not surprised. You've both been exchanging words lately. Juliet added quickly, Not just that. She kicked me in the stomach. I could have lost the baby. Chuka sat up straight. What did you say? She kicked me, right here. Juliet pointed at her belly. I was so shocked. I couldn't believe it. That woman is wicked. For a moment, Chuka was silent. He stared at her. Then he shook his head. I don't believe you. Juliet's mouth dropped open. What do you mean you don't believe me? Chuka looked at her firmly. I know Amara. She's many things, but she can never raise her hand to touch someone, especially not a pregnant woman. So you believe her more than me? Juliet shouted. I didn't say that, Chuka said. I just said I know her. You, on the other hand, you've been lying since the day you entered this house. Juliet was furious now. Wow, so that's it. You're taking her side now, after everything I've done for you. Chuka stood up slowly. I'm not in the mood for this drama, Juliet. Go and get me food. I'm hungry. Juliet folded her arms. I didn't cook. Chuka turned and looked at her like she had just insulted his entire family. You did what? I said I didn't cook, Juliet repeated boldly. Don't you know I'm pregnant? I need rest. Chuka raised his voice. You stayed in this house the whole day, and you couldn't even enter the kitchen. Juliet rolled her eyes. I'm not your house girl, Chuka. I'm carrying your baby. Chuka's face changed. And who told you carrying my baby means you should be lazy? Juliet hissed. I'm not lazy. I'm just tired. You should understand that. Chuka snapped. You. Tired? From what? Scrolling your phone and gossiping with your friends. You think being pregnant is an excuse to act like a queen? Juliet was shocked. Chuka, how can you talk to me like that? Because I'm tired, he shouted. You can't cook, you can't clean, you can't even talk with respect. Thank God I haven't married you yet. Juliet gasped. Excuse me? You heard me, Chuka said harshly. Just look at you, small girl, but you can't even cook for the man you claim to love. You came here full of sweet words, thinking you're better than Amara. But you can't even prepare food, and you say you want to be a wife. Juliet's face turned red. You're insulting me now. I'm just telling you the truth, Chuka replied. You are lazy and disrespectful. Juliet tried to argue, but Chuka raised his hand. Don't even say anything. If you don't want to do the basics, go back to your father's house. Don't come here and stress me. Juliet turned away and stormed into the bedroom, slamming the door hard. Chuka stood in the middle of the living room, breathing heavily. He looked around the house. It was messy. Plates still in the sink, empty cups on the table, biscuit crumbs on the floor. He rubbed his forehead. Maybe he had made a mistake. At that moment, the front door opened. Amara walked in quietly, dressed in her gym clothes, with her bag on her shoulder. She was sweaty and tired, but her face was calm. She saw Chuka standing there and walked past him without saying a word. Chuka sat alone in the living room for a long time. His heart was heavy. His mind was confused. Everything around him felt wrong. The woman he brought into the house was giving him problems, and the wife he had insulted and rejected was now the only peaceful thing left in his life. He looked toward the guest room door. His eyes filled with tears. Slowly, he stood up. He walked to the guest room, knocked softly, and opened the door. Amara was sitting on the bed, wiping her face with a towel after her workout. She looked surprised when she saw him enter, but she said nothing. Then something unexpected happened. Chuka fell to his knees. Tears rolled down his cheeks. Baby, please, he said with a shaky voice, please forgive me. Amara's eyes widened. She had never seen him like this. I didn't know what came over me, Chuka cried. It was the pressure. My friends laughed at me. They said I married an elephant. They made me feel ashamed. Amara looked away. Chuka moved closer on his knees. But I've realized now that they were wrong. I was wrong. You were always there for me. Always. And I treated you like trash. I called you names. I hurt you. I brought another woman into our house. And now I regret everything. Amara's voice was calm. Why now, Chuka? Why are you saying this now? Chuka wiped his tears. Because I miss you. I miss my wife. I don't care if you're fat anymore. I don't care what people say. I just want you back. Amara took a deep breath. I'm not doing this for you. I don't want to be fat anymore because of my health. I want to live long. I want to feel good inside. I want to be strong. Chuka nodded. I understand. I really do. There was silence. Then he said softly, if you'll let me, I want to help. I can follow you to the gym. I want to do this with you, not just to lose weight, but to become a better man. Amara stared at him. For a moment, she didn't know what to say. Then she spoke. I'm not ready to forgive you today, Chuka, she said, but I see you're trying. If you really want to change, show me. Prove it. This time, don't just say it. Do it. Chuka nodded again, wiping his tears. Thank you. I'll wait. I'll do anything to make it right. Amara stood up and handed him a towel. Go clean your face. If you want to follow me to the gym tomorrow, you better wake up early. Chuka smiled weakly and stood to his feet. Yes, Ma, he said gently. Amara didn't smile, but deep inside something began to soften. Chuka left the guest room quietly, wiping his eyes. His heart was heavy, but he felt some relief. Amara had not pushed him away completely. There was still hope. But before anything could truly change, there was one thing he had to do. He walked straight into the master bedroom where Juliet was lying down, scrolling on her phone and chewing gum like she had no care in the world. The moment she saw him, she smiled. You've come to apologize, right? I knew it. Chuka looked at her coldly. In your dreams. Juliet sat up slowly. What do you mean? I want you to leave my house. Chuka said firmly. Right now. Juliet's smile dropped. What? Is that a joke? No, it's not a joke, Chuka said. Pack your things and get out of my house. Juliet stood up, shocked. What about the pregnancy? Our baby. Chuka folded his arms. Your baby? Until we do a DNA test, I don't know if that child is mine. Go to your father's house. When you give birth, we'll do the test. If the baby is mine, then fine. If not, go to hell, you lazy fool. Juliet's eyes burned with anger. How dare you talk to me like that? Dare? Chuka shouted. You came into my house, disrespected my wife, and now you want me to treat you like a queen. You must be mad, Juliet snapped. Fine. You want the truth? I'll give you the truth. Chuka stared at her. Juliet dropped her hand and hissed. The child is not yours. What? Chuka said, his voice shaking. You heard me, Juliet shouted. The baby is not yours. I was pregnant for my boyfriend before I met you, but I lied. Chuka's head was spinning. You lied? Yes, Juliet said boldly. I was desperate, and Felicia told me to do it. Chuka stepped back like he had been slapped. Felicia? As in my wife's best friend? Juliet nodded. Yes, she told me to lie. She said you were rich and foolish, and you would accept the baby without asking questions. She said you were so desperate to become a father that you would believe anything. Chuka's hands were shaking. No, this can't be. She told me you once asked her out, Juliet continued. She said she could have dated you if not for your wife. Your elephant wife, as she called her. Chuka's chest was rising and falling. Stop talking. But Juliet didn't stop. She told me to give you the pregnancy. She said you would even marry me out of pity. She used me to destroy your marriage. You think she was your wife's friend? No, she was a snake. Chuka couldn't speak. His heart was burning. He had thrown away his wife for a lie. And the person who planned everything was the same person his wife called sister. He pointed at the door. Get out. Juliet laughed. Now you see. You were foolish. You let me in. You destroyed your own home with your own hands. Chuka shouted, Get out now. Juliet picked up her bag, walked out of the room proudly, and slammed the door behind her. Chuka collapsed on the bed, holding his head. What have I done? Moments later, he rushed to the guest room. Amara was sitting quietly, writing in her small notebook. Baby, Chuka said, breathing heavily, please listen to me. I have something to tell you. You won't believe it. That Juliet. But Amara raised her hand to stop him. I already know, she said calmly. Chuka blinked. You know? Yes, Amara said. I heard everything. I stood at the door and listened to all of it. Chuka swallowed hard. So it's true, Amara whispered. Felicia, my best friend, the one I trusted with my secrets, is the snake behind everything. She shook her head slowly. No wonder she told me to give up on this marriage. No wonder she said you were not good enough for me. She was planting poison in my heart while smiling to my face. Chuka tried to speak. Amara, I'm not finished, Amara said, her voice calm but strong. You see, Chuka, the real pain is not just your betrayal. It's the fact that you listened to people who never cared about us. You let them speak into your ears, and you closed your heart to your own wife. I know, Chuka said, kneeling again. I'm so sorry. I was foolish, blind. I've lost everything. Please, Amara, give me a second chance, not just to be your husband, but to be your friend, your partner, your peace. Amara stared at him for a long time. Tears rolled down her cheeks, but she wiped them quickly. I don't have the strength to make any decision right now, she said softly, but one thing I know is, this pain will not break me. I will rise from it. Chuka nodded. I'll wait. I'll wait as long as it takes. Amara looked down at her notebook. Then she stood up and walked to the mirror. She stared at herself. She wasn't perfect, but she was powerful. Broken, but healing. The next morning, Amara sat on her bed thinking about everything that had happened. She was still in shock. Juliet had confessed that her so-called best friend, Felicia, was the one behind everything. Her hands shook as she picked up her phone. She dialed Felicia's number. It rang twice before Felicia answered, sounding casual like nothing had happened. Hello, Amara, she said. I want to talk to you, Amara said firmly. And I want you to be honest with me. Felicia laughed. Oh, so you finally found out, huh? Amara's heart raced. So it's true, you told Juliet to lie to my husband. You planned to destroy my marriage. Why, Felicia? Why would you do that to me? Felicia didn't sound sorry at all. Instead, she spoke proudly. Why? She repeated. Because I've always hated the fact that someone like you keeps getting the good things in life. Amara's eyes widened. What are you talking about? Felicia hissed. I'm more beautiful than you, Amara. More classy, more fit. But still, you got married before me. I'm even older than you. Do you know how painful that is? Amara's mouth fell open in shock. Felicia continued, her voice growing bitter. Even in school, the boys always ran after you. You think I didn't notice? An elephant like you, and yet you had more attention than me. Amara's hands were shaking. So all the times I came crying to you about my marriage, you were laughing behind my back. Of course, Felicia snapped. You think I was happy listening to you complain about your fine, wealthy husband while I sit at home with no relationship? Nothing. Every time you told me how badly he treated you, a small part of me felt good inside. Amara's voice cracked. You're wicked. Felicia laughed loudly. Oh, please, I should have been the one with a man like Chuka. I should have dated him, but the fool never even looked at me. Amara shouted, but you told me he asked you out and you rejected him. Felicia laughed again. He never did. That was a lie, you big elephant. He only said once, I wish I married someone like you. That's all. But I turned it into something big. I made it sound like he chased me, just to make you doubt him. Amara was silent. The pain in her chest was deep. Felicia kept talking. You were too blind to see it. I really wanted you to snap. I wanted you to leave him. Then I'd get my chance, but you were too slow, so I sent Juliet. You are evil, Amara said, her voice low and sharp. Felicia sighed. Well, the plan didn't work. You both ruined everything. Now Juliet is out. And you? You're still fat and still stuck with a man who doesn't love you. Amara's voice shook with fire. Felicia, listen to me. You will never find true love. You will remain single for the rest of your life, because your heart is full of jealousy and hate. Felicia laughed mockingly. Who cares? I'd rather be single than be a big woman begging for love. Amara's voice grew louder. You are a snake. You used my pain to feed your bitterness. But guess what? You've lost. I'm still here, and I'm stronger now than ever. Your name will be forgotten, while mine will be remembered. And the next time you see me, you won't believe it's the same Amara you tried to destroy. She cursed her one last time. You will never know peace. Then she ended the call and blocked her number. Amara dropped the phone on the table and breathed deeply. Her heart was still broken, but now the snake had been exposed. She looked at herself in the mirror and smiled weakly. Now I rise. 3 weeks had passed since Amara confronted Felicia and blocked her out of her life forever. Things at home had changed. Chuka became a completely different man. He followed Amara to the gym every morning. He helped with chores. He apologized every single day without getting tired. He stopped talking to his friends who used to mock her. He deleted all the numbers of other women. It was as if the old Chuka had died and a new one had taken his place. Amara watched him closely. She didn't rush to smile or act like everything was okay. She wanted to be sure. She needed to see that the change was real, and day by day she saw it. One evening, as they sat in the living room watching TV quietly, Chuka turned to her and held her hand gently. Thank you, he said. Amara looked at him. For what? For giving me a second chance, he replied. I don't deserve it. But I promise you, for the rest of my life, I'll never take your love for granted again. Amara smiled a little. Don't thank me. Just keep showing up like this. He nodded, tears in his eyes. I will. 3 months later, Amara woke up feeling different. Her body was tired, her head dizzy, and her appetite strange. She thought it was stress from the workouts and emotional roller coaster. But something inside her whispered, check. She quietly went to the pharmacy and bought a test kit. And right there in the bathroom, tears rolled down her face. She was pregnant. She screamed in joy, holding the test to her chest. God, you did it! You did it! When Chuka came home, she was waiting at the door. Before he could say a word, she held up the test. Chuka froze. Is this— Yes, Amara said, laughing and crying at the same time. We're having a baby. He dropped his bag and lifted her gently. Oh my God, Amara, are you serious? I'm serious, she whispered into his ear. He didn't let her go for a long time. That night, they cried, prayed, and danced together. Not as a broken couple, but as partners, ready to write a new story. 6 months later, Amara's belly had grown beautifully. Her face glowed with joy. Her heart was full. One morning, Chuka blindfolded her and took her on a short drive. She kept asking where they were going, but he didn't answer. When they arrived, he removed the blindfold slowly. Amara opened her eyes and gasped. In front of her was a beautiful, newly built house. White walls, golden windows, a small garden, and a big ribbon on the gate. Chuka, she whispered, covering her mouth. He handed her a set of keys. This is for you. And for our baby. A new home. A fresh start. Amara turned and hugged him tightly. You didn't have to. But I wanted to, he said. You've been through so much. You've carried pain, shame, insults. But you never gave up. You are my strength. This house is a gift. But it still doesn't compare to what you've given me. Amara's eyes filled with tears. Thank you. He smiled. No, my queen. Thank you. As they walked into their new home together, hand in hand, the wind felt different. Software peaceful. And full of promise. Because this wasn't just a new house. It was the beginning of a beautiful future. Dear viewers, what lessons did you take away from this dramatic tale? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the story, give us a thumbs up, share it with friends, and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest updates. Thanks for watching and stay blessed.